Romans chapter 2, verse 4 says this: "Don't you see how wonderfully kind, tolerant, and patient God is with you? Does this mean nothing to you? Can't you see that his kindness is intended to turn you from your sin?" I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was telling me how difficult it can be sometimes to open up to people or connect with others and be honest with them, or just even simply have a conversation. And I get it. I mean, I was the most shy child. I was scared to raise my hand to ask to go to the bathroom in elementary school. I was scared to walk through the cafeteria line to order food at lunch. I brought my lunch from home to school every single day up until ninth grade because I was afraid of talking to the lunch ladies and ordering food for myself. I get it. It's hard to say things out of your mouth. It's hard to speak words. It's hard to formulate a sentence when you're afraid. I get it. It's hard to talk to people. It's hard to have conversations. It's hard to be honest with your friends. It's hard to open up to your parents. It's hard to confess things to my pastor. But as I was having this conversation with my friend, I realized, and it came as a revelation to me, that the first time I consciously remember being able to open up to someone was when I was willing to confess a sin. Don't you see? Don't you see how wonderfully kind and tolerant and patient God is with you? Don't you see how wonderfully kind and tolerant and patient others want to be with you? The first time I felt like I could connect with someone and truly and deeply open up with them wasn't when I was celebrating a victory, wasn't when I was sharing a win, wasn't when I was on top of the world and sharing something I was excited about. It was when I was sharing and just reveling in the deepest, in the darkest, in the most scary places of myself. And I was opening them up and laying them all down and making them known. The first time I felt like I could open up to someone was when I confessed a sin. And that's not to tell you to go out and confess all your sins to everybody, because there's safe spaces to do that. But it is to say there's something beautiful in confession. There's something beautiful in laying it down. There's something wonderfully patient and magnificent in being honest and repenting. And maybe today it looks like repenting to God of something that you've been holding back from him. Or maybe it looks like being a little bit more vulnerable with that friend or with that partner or with that parent that you need to be vulnerable with. But it opens doors. And it came as a realization to me that the first time I was consciously aware of my ability to be honest with someone was when I confessed of a sin. And when I realized it was time to turn things right. It was time to turn things how they were always meant to be. So let's connect a little bit deeper today. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's do things that are new and exciting and scary and just a little bit uncomfortable. Let's get comfortable with the uncomfortable.